Now that you two are all grown up, now it's time for me to live my damn dream.
What about my dream?
And my dream.
Oh, really? You have a dream? What's your dream? Learn how to tie your shoe?
Hi friends, it's Heidi M. I'm back with another preview and an interview. This time I'll be covering the new series 0 to 60 Driving Academy, which is a fast-paced, really funny, community-driven comedy, and it will be launching on Bell Fibe TV1 broadcast and digital later this month on May 22nd. So 0 to 60 Driving Academy starts with a man named Steve who's looking to hand his family business off to one of his children, and his son, baby Steve, played by Devon Taylor, and daughter Lauren, played by Alexandra McClean, and he's deciding which of the two should get the business. So there's a standoff between the siblings that starts, and they sort of are trying to figure out who's going to take over the business. Do they take it or do they reject taking over the business? And so that's sort of the premise of the film as you kind of start the journey with Steve, Lauren, and baby Steve. And what happens is that there's a lot of funny family hijinks and some really, really funny and memorable characters too that come to the academy to learn how to drive. But are they really to learn how to drive, or are they there for other reasons? So you'll have to tune into 0 to 60 Driving Academy. But before you do that, I will leave you with my interview with one of the leads, as well as a co-creator, co-writer, and associate producer, Alexandra McClean. Hi friends, I'm back, and this time I'm joined by a very busy person, Alexandra McClean. Welcome, Alexandra.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Alexandra, you do a lot of work. You do film, television, and you're going into a series pretty soon that we're going to talk about today. But tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of work do you do? You're an actor, you're a stunt performer, you do lots of things.
Yes, so in the film industry, yes, I am a writer, actor, and a stunt performer. That is correct. So that is, I guess, that's the film world, but I do also work in finance outside of that.
That's true. I have a 9 to 5, and this is another thing I do.
There you go.
So tell me the segue into acting and performing. What was sort of the call for you?
Yeah, so I always wrote ever since I was a little girl. I wanted to be a writer, and I started with poetry and then short stories, and that kind of progressed. But my intro really to the film industry started when I was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That was the same year that Mr. D was starting out in Halifax, and they ran for 8 seasons.
Right.
So for 8 summers of my life, I was just a kid in the background. And that's where I grew up. That was my first job, and that was my intro.
So you've been hustling for a while.
I have. I really have. I mean, I've been in this industry for more than half of my life. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, now that you mention your other work, I guess you're really well informed so that you can also navigate some of the behind the scenes of, producing for film or television.
Yeah. Like my educational background is very helpful in like the producing side and starting my own production company one day, that kind of thing, for sure.
So when did you start your own company then?
Oh, I didn't yet. Not yet. But I think it will be beneficial for when I do.
Oh, right. Sorry, that was my misunderstanding, but I'm rooting for you already.
Thank you.
So you've done some television, as you said, for a long time, and now you're actually co-leading and you're associate producer on a new series. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The title is 0 to 60 Driving Academy. Tell me about the Academy. How did you connect with Steve Lawrence and kind of started that story?
Yeah, so I actually met Jonathan Torrens, who is a producer on this show. I've co-created with myself and Steve, and he also directs all 6 episodes. I met him on Mr. D when I was a kid, which you probably wouldn't remember because there were hundreds of kids there every day.
Sure.
And again, we were just kind of running around in the background. But we, I guess, reconnected a few years ago, and he cast me in a few of his Bell Fibe shows. And he's great. He wants to get to know everyone who works on his film set, and he learned from me that writing has always been my first passion, and that I've studied it, and that's what I wanted to pursue. And so when this opportunity came up for a 0 to 60 Driving Academy, it was basically Steve Lawrence. He really does own a driving academy in Dartmouth. That's his 9 to 5, and but he also is an actor and musician, and he was working with Jonathan on another project one day, and Paul Gardner was also there, who works at Bell, and Steve was telling him stories about his day to day at the Driving Academy, and Paul was like, this would be a really funny show. Anyways, they got it going, and Jonathan came to me to co-create it with him and co-write the episodes, and also play Steve's daughter, because he knew my work and he knew that writing was kind of my number one.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of came together like that. I'm so grateful to him. It's a great opportunity.
That is so cool. And it's always interesting to hear how it started with a conversation, and you never know what conversations could lead into, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I had the privilege of, having sneak peeks of the series. So I've enjoyed a lot of good laughs, and I also have a lot of Caribbean friends in terms of growing up in Toronto. So some of this stuff I could totally see things in terms of family dynamics playing out,
Cool.
or even my own family, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about because you are one of the writing folks on the show. So tell me where you pulled from. I know Steve obviously has that academy, so a lot of material there. But what else were your sources for the characters and all of that?
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the main source was just the Nova Scotian, like the Black Nova Scotian community.
Mm-hmm.
We use some of the lingo, and some of the foods, like donair egg rolls are
Right.
eaten, and that's like a really big food here. And just like our community around here was a huge source of inspiration. And then of course Steve had a ton of funny stories from the Real Life Driving Academy. And we also wanted to, this is by no means the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but we like to look to that show for inspiration as well, just kind of the family
Sure.
dynamics and the comedy, and also the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen, because you've watched a few episodes or so. We try to have really bright colors
Mm-hmm.
on. It's a very colorful show, and that's a nod to Maddie Tam, who did the set deck and the wardrobe. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I think it also adds a different layer to the energy of the show when it's so vibrant, right?
yeah, it's fun
Um,
to look at.
it is, it is. And it just looks like a fun place to be at, actually.
And it was. I love that. I love that you can see that on screen.
Okay, that's good. So I want to talk about the casting. Maybe you can share a little bit about that. Is it true that there's a mix of professional actors and non-professional actors?
Um, yes, I would say there are definitely more professional actors than non-professional actors. But someone like Paul Simmons, who played Cuz, he is an actor member. He has been for a long time,
Yeah.
so he has his acting credits. But he likes to be kind of on the crew, behind the scenes usually. He doesn't act very much, but he was just the perfect character, like the perfect person to play this character. And so I'm really, really glad that worked out. But yeah, there are a few people that have never been on a film set before that stopped by. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix, but I would say most of us are actors, are
Mm.
already actors in some way.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So tell me about that community, because it does come through that is very much like a vibe of Nova Scotia, like Black Nova Scotia community. So how do you? I guess it's also easy with the casting, because are they mostly locals in terms of being in the community?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Pretty much everyone was local except for Cassidy Matera. She's Italian.
Hmm.
She is from Nova Scotia, and she grew up here, and she was in Mr. D as one of the actual characters in the show.
Right.
And she lives in Toronto now, but everyone else, I think, is a Nova Scotian local. And like I said, she was born here, so it
Hmm.
very, very homegrown. And yeah, like we have Nathan D. Simmons, who is a pretty quasi-famous actor now from Nova Scotia. He's in the show, and yeah, we have a lot of talent in Nova Scotia, a lot of talented folks in our African Nova Scotian community who don't always get the opportunity to be in a series like, well, no, this is the first series in Atlantic Canada like this, but just, get their shot in a
Mm-hmm.
series at all. So it was really great to tap into the local talent that we have.
Yeah, I think so too. I also, I mean, I think that's the appeal. Like I said, I'm not from Nova Scotia, but I related to some of the nuances in the humor and stuff. And I think it's always nice to see what it is like somewhere else outside of Ontario, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's quirks that come through that I know are not Toronto, and it's just nice to be able to still get the humor across and the relatable side of things too with the family dynamic. So talk about the fact that there's like a father with the two kids, and they're like not sure they want to take over this business.
Yeah, it's so funny. We were just talking about this today. The chemistry that we have on the set, the family and beyond, but especially between Steve, Devin, and myself. Steve
Mhm.
plays Stevie. Devin plays baby Steve. So
Yes.
this family of three. We have such great chemistry already because we're from the community and we all knew each other. We weren't, best friends maybe, but we just, we speak the same language and we've known each other. We've met each other on sets before. So from day one, we were already a family, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And people were telling us today that even off screen, we're just our own little sitcom together, which is great. Um, but yeah, so basically in the show, I play Stevie's daughter, and she does not want the business. So Stevie wants to retire and go play golf and music in Florida, which is true. He does want to do that in real life. He would like to retire. And he
Right.
does have a daughter who he would like to pass the business down to, and she's not very interested. So that was the true inspiration for my character.
Mm.
And then for baby Steve, Steve in real life does not have a son, but we thought it would be a fun family dynamic to have him in there.
Mhm.
But he's not really equipped to take over the business, I'll
Right.
say. He's not really the man for the job. So it kind of falls on Lauren's character or on me. And, she's not interested. So there's like a family compromise that happens and it's a little chaotic after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. People need to actually watch and then figure out what happens.
Yeah.
So, you have experience working on different, I'm assuming different sets. And what was it like to work on a set like this one? Because it sounds like you said it's very community based and driven, and also working on a series for Bell Fibe. Have you noticed any difference? What are some of the pluses of having this opportunity?
Yeah. I mean, any set ran by Jonathan Torrens is a dream come true. He always says that you'll never be on a more fun set. And it's so true because it can be really stressful. There's hundreds of people and, there's a time crunch and there's a lot of money involved in a typical film set. And it can be stressful and it can be 15-hour days, but we on these Bell shows we have a smaller crew and a smaller cast, so it's every single person has a true hand in creating the project.
Mhm.
There's no sitting around or anything. Like we are all fully in it all day,
Right.
but it's low stress because we're all just there to have fun and it's not supposed to really feel like work. And Jonathan sets this precedence as a showrunner and director that we're all just having fun. It's
Mhm.
all chill. We get the job done, don't get me wrong, of course, but
Sure.
we're just it's all gonna be okay, And everyone left their egos at the door. We just came in to just create this thing together and have a lot of fun. It's a dream come true. It's an amazing set, and especially to do a show with our community behind us and to have
Mhm.
so many African Nova Scotians on set, which is kind of rare,
Right.
was amazing. Like down to the hair. Our hairdresser, Malik Usman, she's phenomenal. I'm sorry, I have to say it. If you watch the show, my hair is snatched, and it's
You
all
look
because of her. Like she
good.
took really good care of me. I can't really do all of that by myself, but
Right.
she slayed. And just like knowing every day you're going to feel safe, and that people are going to know how to care for your hair texture and things like that. It's just a phenomenal time.
Yes, and I think it's important to highlight the crew in terms of these very community-based shows because it is so key. I just happen to have a neighbor who works in hair for TV
Oh,
too, so she's always telling me how important it is to have that connection with your actors and whoever is going to be on screen.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess everything starts from getting prepped to then being on set to record, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, you typically would go to like the hair and makeup trailer and get
Mhm.
wardrobe, and you're ready for the day and start filming.
What are some of your favorite things to do to prep for yourself for a character like this one or any of the roles that you've done?
Um, I typically like this is I think a lot of people do this, but I like to make a playlist
Mm-hmm.
for a character. I actually didn't make one for Lauren because I don't know, I felt like there's a bit of me in her, and also I spent so much time actually writing the scripts.
Right.
So she was just there. The
Yes.
lines, everything was just in there. So I felt like I was doing so much. I didn't need to get further into the character, but I do like to make a quick little playlist for
Mm-hmm.
different characters that I play. And yeah, just try to get into their headspace and see what life is like for them. Because sometimes it's not a character that I would ever be in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like Lauren, where I see some similarities, you know?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious about other work you've done, and we're gonna come back to this show, but how do you, what's the difference in terms of like embodying a role and then doing the stunt performing? I'm sure there's differences, but I mean like in terms of your own preparation.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very different. I guess when I do a stunt or I'm stunt doubling for somebody, I don't make a playlist for the character.
Sure.
It's interesting. I don't really think about I'm the character. I just
Right.
think about how to best perform the stunt safely and make it look good. And I do, I guess, so I worked on St. Pierre, CBC show. They just got renewed for a
Yeah.
season.
Congrats. Yeah, I just started. Yeah.
So I was I was stunt Arch, the main character Arch. I was her stunt double.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more so like mimicking the actress playing the character. So
Yes.
I had to do a scene where I was running. This is not the stunt, but just for example.
Yes.
And I watched her run first. And then when it was my turn to go, I just tried to mimic the exact way she would run. So I
Mhm.
feel like when I approach a stunt, I don't so much approach it as the character, but as the how the actor embodies the character, if that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Totally makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, so that I think that's how I approach it. And then when it comes to just an acting role, I feel more like I am the character, and I'll go about that my own way with the music
Mhm.
and whatever
Right.
else. Yeah.
Would you want, do you want to keep doing both? The acting and the
Yeah, I do and I don't. I love all the opportunities. I'm very grateful for all of them. My preference is like the whole dream has always been to write and then to star in my own
Mhm.
content. And so my own shows, my own films. And so that's what I want to do mainly. And stunts, we have amazing stunt coordinators out there and everything, but it can still be dangerous. That's
Right.
the nature of the job.
Yes.
And to be honest, if things go wrong and I kind of can't film a TV show that I've been, planning for years that I wrote myself, for example,
Hmm.
and that kind of goes down the drain because I broke my leg or I
Sure.
smashed my face. Like this can happen. We can be as safe as possible, but things do go wrong, and stunts can be very dangerous.
Absolutely.
So there's that side of it, but I do enjoy the thrill.
Hmm.
I was an athlete growing up, so I don't play sports anymore, but that kind of scratches the itch for me to
Sure.
hop into the costume and perform a stunt. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, and it is a really, really cool job, I have to say. It's pretty niche and unique. So
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. I just worry about how it will impact the acting side,
Hmm.
the acting dreams, so
That's
to
I
speak.
mean, it's a fair assessment, right? Because, and then also, if you already know you're a talent and you have this opportunity with 0 to 60, right? In that you've now, part of that dream is coming true of like writing and acting. So why not kind of go with that?
Right. Yeah. It's tough. It's hard,
Well,
to
options
make
are
the
good.
choice. Yes, absolutely. Very thankful for all the options.
Absolutely. So, I know you're starting to kind of promote the show because it's coming up on Bell Fibe on I think the 22nd of this month.
Yes.
So what have you heard? What's the chatter been in terms of people who've kind of sneak peeked or even from like folks in the series.
Everyone is so excited, and it is so relieved. Like, I'm relieved to hear
Right. Yeah.
because I mean, we knew we were making something special. We didn't think about it until the end that, oh, this is history that we've now created or made. That's amazing. And we all put our heart and soul into it, and we knew that we loved it. And in our minds, we knew, this is going to be really important to the community and beyond. But then gets closer and the nerves pop in. You're like, what if nobody cares? What if it's actually not as good as we think? And then we drop the trailer, and the response has been overwhelming. People throughout the community and beyond saying, how can I watch it? Then it's
Nice.
about time. This is funny. This looks so good. I'm so proud of you. It was felt, I can't even put it into words how good it
Mhm.
feels that the community is behind us and that they are just as excited about it as we are. And to the people who have gotten to see little snippets of like, oh, it's actually funny, oh, good, because Jonathan Torrens is a comedy legend. But for me, I tend to write drama.
Right.
That was kind of what I thought my space was. So when he brought me in to help him write the show, I was a little nervous because comedy is not
Mhm.
necessarily my forte. But people are laughing, so that's great.
That's good. That's good. I think it's also beneficial because you're embodying the character. So then I'm sure you can tweak it to best suit the mood as you
Yeah.
go, right?
And there is a
Um,
lot of improv as well. Like on set, we
yeah.
write what we do, but then we have a really funny cast as it is, so they kind of put their own twist on it for sure.
I will say I'm blanking on the name, but the older lady who keeps coming back for sessions, like she's one of
Mrs.
my
Ormond,
favorites. I mean, everyone's funny, but she is hilarious.
I think she's so funny. Yeah, totally.
So I think, like I said, I also like that there is a bit of a mix in terms of the characters themselves. Not everybody is like a young person going to learn how to drive. It's people
Right.
who also maybe this is their social way, like the way to be social, right, with other people. So there's a lot of layers. I think we pick up as maybe we keep watching the show. At least that's how I noticed with some of the
Yeah.
episodes.
I'm thank you for bringing that up because that was one of the things when we were in the writers' room, Jonathan, Steve, and I were thinking about a driving school is where people of all ages and genders and races they have to, not everyone has to, but if you want to learn to drive, you have to go to driving school.
Mhm.
And it's not just teenagers, it's everyone. It can be people from all walks of life, and that's that can be really funny. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the series is gonna release soon. What are we look? Well, we obviously can watch it on Bell Fibe, but do you think like what might be hopefully the next step?
I'm so excited about having it released on May 22nd. I'm not sure what the next step is right now. I would love to speak things into existence here, but we're just along for the ride. We hope we can continue to do this for a very long time. We had a lot of fun, but I think what's next is May 22nd. It's out there for the people, and I hope that the response is. Yeah, I hope people enjoy it.
Absolutely. And for yourself, Alexandra, anything that you can share that you're also working on for the next little bit?
Hmm. Uh, I will probably have a few stunt gigs coming up. uh, Fingers crossed, everything's okay there. But like I said, I do like to write in the drama space, so I am working on a really personal story, and it's in early stages right now. But I hope that 0 to 60 is the first show that I've gotten to co-create and co-write and star in, but hopefully not the last.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope this new drama project comes to fruition as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So 0 to 60 Driving Academy on May 22nd. I'll be sure to link it so people know where to go.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Alexandra, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Heidi. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure too.